All right.
Yeah, we should.
All right, today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. The time is 3:45 p.m. I will now call the Policy Committee meeting to order. Ms. Kenny, is there a quorum present?
There is.
All right, thank you. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll start off today with our review of policies. As a reminder, these policies are being reviewed as part of a 3-year review cycle unless otherwise noted. Some of them are required by law to be reviewed every year. All right. So when we do a review, we do look at the entire policy. So is there a motion to send policy 720 vending machines to the school board with no changes?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, I'll give that one to Nate. Any discussion? Discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending policy 806 crisis management policy to the school board without any changes?
So moved.
Thank you, Tara. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thanks, Nick. Discussion. Yes.
I have a couple of concerns here, and I'm just going to express them, and then we can, discuss as appropriate. This is, if you refer to pages 14 and 15, under sample procedures. The first thing, it says sample procedures for the various hazards, emergencies listed below are attached to this policy. I don't know, I couldn't find any attachments, so I think if we say that they are attached, we need to attach them, or have a link anyway. That's my first concern. Secondly, they talk about the Comprehensive School Safety Guide 2011, and I kind of went through that, some of the things that with that guide, at least the one I could find. And they had some certain specifics that we probably don't, that aren't included with ours. One of them, it says suspicious package or mail. That could probably come under, like chemical or biological threat. That might be covered under that. Terrorism is another one, and maybe into letter U, school, emergency response team. R is evacuation, relocation. I think Q is shelter in place. I think that could probably be covered by that. A specific one that we really don't have, and I think it would be a good idea to put that in, would be specifically sexual assault. I know we have assault, but also with sexual assault, I think it's covered, and the protocols are covered under Comprehensive School Safety Guide. I think just in this day and age, that would be a good thing to have. Lastly, one of the things that the Comprehensive School Guide doesn't have is the last one on page 15W, highly contagious, serious illness or pandemic flu. We don't really have any protocols for that in place. We do have, thank you, Mr. Benty, for sending me the COVID-19 protocols. I think many of them are outdated, though. So I guess before I vote on to include this one, W, highly contagious, serious illness or pandemic flu, I I would like to see or review the protocols before I approve of this part. So there we are. So there's three things. I think if it says it's attached, we should attach it, either that or take it out or put some links in. Secondly, I think we should add sexual assault. And then third, since at least I couldn't find it, Comprehensive School Safety Guide 211, and I put that in 211, but in this one thing came up and I couldn't find exactly when it was. But I think the fact that we don't have any protocols for that in place, I think we should do that before we approve this, and that's my feelings.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion?
I do.
Wendy?
Only because I've been in and out of buildings, so I don't always know everything. But I was reading over D, the notice.
What was it?
And it stated that parents would have notice if we are providing an active shooter drill. And I was just wondering if what we're providing in school is intruder drills and not active shooter drills, if there's a difference, or have I missed something?
Clarification.
So can you say what
Oh,
it is you're looking at here? What,
I'm looking at D on page 806-12.
12, okay.
It's in the middle of the page. And I'm looking at a couple of things. One is the school district must provide notice of a pending active shooter drill to every student's parent or legal guardian. And it should be 24 hours in advance. Also, that students can opt out of this. And, you know, part of this is because we're talking early childhood through the adult program. How are parents getting this information in terms that they can understand and explain to their child at home if we're giving that notice?
Yeah, and there, if I can just answer some of that. So there are
Yes.
different types of active shooter drills, and I've been involved in setting up and organizing all different types of them. Some of them are true active shooter drills where you have someone play the part of an active shooter that roams around your building. You have police come to the scene, you have police apprehend, you have police do all of those pieces, just like they would normally do. Then there are the other ones where we run it the same as just a lockdown, but
Right.
classify it in our system as an active shooter drill without the students knowing that's what it is. So we would just refer to it, we would never, we would not be referring to it as an active shooter drill or an active shooter necessarily situation
Perfect.
with anyone besides law enforcement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit better. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now I haven't been in the building when this has happened, and what happened.
But just to piggyback, I've gotten notifications 24 to 48 hours in advance, and every communication for, well, I guess not at the high school, but pre-K, Lincoln, and the middle school has included, this is who you should contact if you would like to opt out, or if you'd like to learn more about what is included or what the policy and procedures are.
Perfect. I just wanted to clarify it because it's been many years since my children went through school.
And just to put this out there, we're required by law to have 5 fire drills per year, with one of them that has to take place within the first 10 days of school. At least one of them has to be a full evacuation fire drill. And then we have to have at least 5 lockdown drills per year, and then 1 severe weather awareness drill that we do per year as well.
Yep.
So that's required. Those are required by law.
Could I just clarify, Wendy, when your concern maybe is with, you said the younger children, we don't want them to be emotionally traumatized by a drill. Is that what?
They haven't been. I was just,
Yeah.
since I didn't know if parents were notified, and sometimes parents have conversations with their children
Right.
prior to a situation, I just wanted to make sure that we understood the different levels of communication that goes on in a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we
No,
don't want to
that's all right.
traumatize these little
No,
guys.
Not a concern, and the young children have handled these lockdown drills exceptionally well. So I'm
That's good.
kind of proud of them.
All right, second call for discussion.
I just want to reiterate that with this highly contagious, serious illness or pain, I don't, unless I know what the protocol is, I don't feel I can vote for this. And so that's my big problem with that, because I really want to see what this is and what it's about, so. And the fact that we don't have any protocols in place just bothers me a little bit. I think this policy needs a little bit more work before we send it on. So thank you.
So, just for clarification, do we table this policy, or it does need to be?
So our Director of Health and Safety is currently working on a flu pandemic piece to this.
Okay.
There are other pieces that so for a lot of these, there are responses that are part of this that are not attached to this. So when each building has its own emergency response binder that tells them where they go, how they get there, who they notify. We intentionally do not attach that onto here, because if there is a situation like an active shooter, they do not need to know where we are
Going.
moving
No,
towards.
that's true.
Okay, so that's why I've tried to stay a little quiet here, but I also sense the feel of the room and understand there needs to be some transparency. There are these plans that do exist.
You mean for the sample streets for the various, it said
Yes,
attached?
They do
Because
exist.
it's wondering, are they,
We do not attach them because of legitimate reasons.
okay, that makes sense.
All right?
When they're working on the protocols for W, which is highly contagious serious
Mm-hmm.
illness, when they get them completed, will the board be able to see them then? I don't know about the rest of the board, but I would like to see.
I think what will happen is that once that gets set up, then it will come as an attachment to this, and then this will have to come back, this policy 806
Okay.
will have to come back to this group to be ratified with that new attachment.
Okay. Yeah, and I have my own little, if I don't, I guess if I can't read something or if I don't have access to it, I don't feel I can vote for it, so that's my reasoning. Thank you. And look forward to the protocol.
Yes, go ahead.
So there was a question about postponing this. Should we just make an amendment to take the word attachment out?
You can do whatever you would like in this.
I think that
I will
makes
say
sense.
there are attachments that are not attached. Okay?
Yeah, because if the public reads this, and some of them do, they're going to say, why aren't so I think I like that idea. But since you brought it up, I'll second it if you put it forward. Because I think it's good, because if somebody reads this, they're thinking and they're thinking, transparency and all this stuff. So I think in order to avoid that, I think I like what you were saying. So if you would make an amendment, I will second it.
I have to think.
It's
how
on
I-
page 14.
Yeah, I know. So the amendment would be maybe sample procedures are available at the building level?
There you go. Second. Or did you make the amendment already? If you did, I second it.
I don't know, did I make? Yeah, sample procedures for various hazards, emergencies are located at the building level.
Okay. So there's been a motion to amend the policy 806, section 5, to say sample procedures for various hazards / emergencies are available at the building level. Do you want to continue to say to this policy
If you-
instead of attached?
No, I don't want attached.
Okay, so just say sample procedures for various hazards / emergencies listed below are available at the building level,
Yes,
okay? And then additional sample procedures may be found in, keep the second sentence, correct?
Until we find it's been updated.
Okay.
We need to have some sort of reference, I
All right.
think.
So there's a motion to amend this to what was read. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, second. Discussion?
I guess.
Discussion only on the amendment.
Okay, I'm not sure if this, I think it works. So, and I'm not sure how to ask this. How, if we say in our policy is with the amendment, is I'm specifically talking about the intruder, the assault, some of these higher level that need to be confidential. Does it mean every Tom, Dick, and Harry has access to our critical safety plans?
So what we would then require is a Freedom of Information Act request,
Okay,
in which we would then look at what it is they're asking for, and if it's sensitive around like where we would relocate towards or how we would respond in a emergency like that, we would most likely send it to our attorneys to have them do any redaction that was necessary.
That's the question I was going to ask, because there's a reason we don't share those
right.
plans.
I was wondering that too.
But if it was attached, it would be on the website.
Correct.
Right,
So this at least gives us another layer of protection.
right.
We're covered with that.
But we don't want them to be able to go into the building and request that information.
Cor-
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Being it's at the building level, we want to have, that they can't
And
just.
any request that comes in the way of a Freedom of Information Act request has to come through me. So. Second call for discussion on the amendment. Final call for discussion on the amendment. All right, hearing none, we will vote on the amendment only. So we are voting to add the amendment as part in place of that first sentence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so the amendment has passed. So now I will entertain a motion to approve sending policy 806 to the school board as amended.
So move.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on policy 806 with the amendment?
I would just like to clarify, I go along with the amendment, but until I get more information about W, their highly contagious series, I'm going to vote against it, and that's the reason I'm doing it. But I'm for the amendment.
Okay.
Second call for discussion. Final call for discussion. All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right, motion passes 6-1. Yes. All right. All right, is there a motion to approve sending policy 908, capital projects policy, to the school board with no changes?
So moved.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion? Discussion? Final call for discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is that our last? Nope, we got one more of the review. Is there a motion to approve sending policy 910, energy efficiency, to the school board with no changes?
So moved.
All right, I will give that one to Nate, and Tara, I'll give you the second. Discussion? Yes.
Yes, thank you. On the last page, on 16, they talk about renewable energy to include but not limited to solar and wind energy. Since solar and wind are already under the label of renewable energy, I don't think we need to add those two items. I think it's redundant, especially now when there are some studies coming out and reviews that are demonstrating that these energy sources, they can be harmful not only to the environment, but to humans as well. And I've received some things from a constituent as well. So I guess to restate, solar and wind really is already classified as renewable energy. So it's something that we can be looked at, but I don't think we should focus on it. So I'd like to put forth an amendment to, if I may right now, to delete, to include but not limited to solar and wind energy. And the reason, like I said, is because it's really renewable energy is, solar and wind are renewable energies, but there's more energy sources out there too that I think we should look at and not just concentrate on those two. So thank you.
So your amendment is to just have it be, say, renewable energy,
Correct.
okay?
Yeah.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Final call for a second? All right, hearing none, the amendment fails due to lack of second. So we will move back to the discussion of policy 910, energy efficiency. Final call for any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion passes 6-1. All right, moving on now to revisions of policies. So the following policies have proposed revisions to review. We will only be looking at the revisions, so we will only be looking at the areas that are in red on your, either in your packets or online. All right. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 410, family and medical leave policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. 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 All right. Hearing none. I should say that this is a mandatory policy. Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 625, use and reproduction of copyrighted materials, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion. The only change in this one is we had to change the number. So we remember we came up with this a little over a year ago. We gave it number 625, and then MSBA came out with its own 625, so we're just bumping this to 699. There are no changes to the policy besides the number at the top.
Okay.
All right? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Is there a motion to approve sending revisions to policy 721, procurement policy, to the school board?
So moved.
Thank you, Wendy. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Discussion. Yes.
First of all, I think this policy like this is needed. I do have some concerns, though, on page 4. I think I'll go through all of them, and then we can discuss as needed, if that's okay. On page 4, it's under G. So the school district must take all
I
necessary.
do need to stop you. We are only talking about the revisions, so only anything that's in
for the
red.
revisions.
Yes.
Oh,
So this is up for revision, not for review.
I am sorry for, yes, okay. All right. I'll have to refine my little search here. Okay. Okay, on page 10, it's C. It's the second paragraph. It says the school district must comply with the United States Constitution, federal statutes, regulations, and the terms and conditions of the federal award. I am objecting to taking out the U.S. Constitution, because the Constitution really is the law of the land. And if we're taking that out, I don't think this is a very good idea. So, that one. Page 13. Number 1. Advertising and public relations, we're taking this out, costs with limited exceptions, including promotional items and memorabilia, models, gifts, and souvenirs.
I'm sorry, what page are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's on page 13, number 1.
Okay.
One of the things, and I'm not a lawyer, but I do know that under the federal law, there are some advertising costs that are allowable and some that aren't. And I think I haven't had a chance to really look at that statute too much, but the statute is fairly specific. I really, to be more comfortable, I would like our attorneys to look at that before I agree to anything. Because like I said, the federal law is very specific, and I hope we're not violating any of, I know MSBA has gone through this, but I'd feel more comfortable if our attorney looked at that, just to make sure. Okay. And I think that would be those two things then.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would like to, like I say, I really would like to have the attorney look at that, just to make sure. And then back to the U.S. Constitution, I would like to put an amendment forth. First of all, let's talk about, maybe we should talk about, does everybody agree that maybe the attorney should look at that just in case?
Just to clarify, Mr. Bundy, these changes run through MSBA's legal counsel?
These changes come from not only MSBA's legal counsel, but then also through the almost one entire page of federal law. I've never seen a school policy with a page of federal laws. And there are a lot of the federal laws that you will see that are in red as well, that have been updated, so.
So just to be clear, the MSBA did have attorneys look at this change, correct?
Yes,
So hopefully they're on top of it. Okay, so I guess the only thing that I would look at then is, I think, our Constitution is the law of the land, and I think when we're taking this out, even at the advice of MSBA, I don't think that's a very good look.
Can you rephrase what what you think they're taking out?
Oh, the
again?
school district, that's on page 10.
Yep.
C, second paragraph.
Oh.
The school district must comply with and we're taking out the United States Constitution. And the Constitution oftentimes is not the same as federal statutes, so I have a concern about that. And I would like to make an amendment that keeps the school district must comply with, I'd like to keep the United States Constitution in there.
so an amendment has been proposed for page 10, section 6C, second paragraph, to say the school district must comply with and to add back in the United States Constitution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so there's been a motion and a second, so now we'll have a discussion only on the amendment.
Do you know the rationale between MSBA, Minnesota statute, and federal statute, I would believe, that these revisions are coming from for removing the United States Constitution?
My guess is they saw it as redundant. That's my guess. But there are, you see, if you go to page 22, there are actually every single Minnesota state statute is listed in here, which means that those have all been updated or changed. All right, and then if you go to page 23, you will see that there are a lot of United States statutes in here that have been added and changed. So and I will say it again, I am not an attorney, okay? But my guess is it was struck simply as being redundant.
Mr. Chair, I guess I disagree with that because I think taking out the United States Constitution, this is the law of the land. And if we do that, I just think for public awareness or public, for the sake of the public, I don't think it's a very good look for us. I think we need to put that back in there because it is the law of the land. It does supersede even federal statutes because sometimes there have been, federal statutes that have gone against probably civil rights or whatever, and with the United States Constitution, that guarantees equality under the law. And if we believe in equity, if we believe that every person is, equal, I think we better put that back in there because if we don't, I think we're contradicting ourselves. So I think this should stay in there. So, thank you.
All right, further discussion on the amendment? Third call for discussion on the amendment. All right, hearing none. All those in favor of adding the United States Constitution back in, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so the amendment passes. So now I have to jump back to the beginning again. All right. So is there a motion to approve sending? Oh, I have a motion, that's right. So now we'll continue discussion on policy 721 with the amendment, okay? I will just add so that you know, because there were a couple areas in here. So if you go to page 4, section H, so that would be page 4, which is section 4H. It says the superintendent and/or that, and says insert title as appropriate. The title that will be inserted in there is Director of Finance and Operations. Okay? If you go to the next page, page 5, still section H, but this is 2A, superintendent up to, the dollar amount to be inserted in there is $175,000. Okay, that is what the state allows.
Yep.
And then section B, where it says insert title, that would once again be the Director of Finance and Operations. And once again, where it says up to, that would be $175,000 for the dollar amount, which is once again what the state allows. Okay? I think that was the only clarifying pieces that did not make it in there. So, third call for discussion. All right, hearing none. All those in favor of sending policy 721, the procurement policy with amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. And we do not have any new policies. Since I am a super nice guy, I will give you the month of July off.
What a guy.
And our next meeting will be August 4th, 2026. I would expect that to be potentially a little bit of a longer meeting with a lot of policies because we'll have some stuff that comes down to us from the state that was done during the legislative session. There are no more items to discuss. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Discussion.
Well,
Discussion.
let me think.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned.